Hello friends, my name is Ashish Bajaj and I work for Harman Professional. I welcome you all to the series of Harman Tech No Chat. The past few months have changed the way we live, work and connect. During normal times, Harman used to bring in the popular Harman Tech Exchange event to showcase the latest trends and developments on the technology front in audio, video and lighting industry. While we are all eager and excited to get back to our offices and resume our lives, we have to embrace the new normal. Given this situation, Harman India brings to you a series of chats with the industry experts to get an overview on various aspects. So let's go and check whom do we have today as our guest speaker. Please have a seat. Welcome, Sunny, to the Harman Techno Chat. Friends, let me give you some brief about Mr. Sunny Sarid. Mr. Sunny Sarid is leading Sound of Music in the capacity of Principal Consultant and Managing Director. During his around 3 decades of experience in the audio and video industry, Sunny has delivered a lot of audio and acoustic projects in the large performance venues, lounge and club audio, and brought in solutions for hospitality and corporate sector. Besides, during his initial years, Sunny was also known as undisputed DJ King of the country. Sunny was very instrumental in bringing the DJ mixing concept, which was not known to many. So Sunny, let's get started. Can you please tell our viewers how your journey was?
So Ashish, I started off in 1985 as a DJ with a place called the Ghungru, which was a very, very popular nightclub those days. And it was my passion that took me into that direction. I was always fond of music. Right from the time I was a kid, I used to also play in my college bands. So for me, it was not really a job. It was a hobby that became a passion and then a job. Now, along the way, when I progressed, what started interesting me was how sound is produced, how sound is recorded. And that pushed me into the studio space. Of course, in those days, there was no requirement. There was no opportunity. And I actually got into learning the skills of being a sound engineer as early as 1992. Did my certification from SAE in UK.
Okay.
And came back, set up my own studio because I wanted to record music and understand how it is recorded. In that course, I released about 30 odd albums with various companies like Magna Sound, Sony Music, Virgin. That was in the 90s. A lot of this music was released. And so the natural progression from there was, getting into designing. So because I was a popular DJ, opportunities came to my side. People wanted me to design the systems for clubs. So I started with, a club called Someplace Else, which was the first system that I designed for a club in Delhi. Became a very popular club, which is at the Park Hotel. That was a Harman system that I designed. It was a JBL system. And my exposure to JBL came in from Ghungru, which was designed in 1978 and had a beautiful JBL system installed, the studio monitors there. Along the opportunity, I was working with ITC those days at the Maurya, at the Ghungru. I also by default became the internal designer, So there was a restaurant called Bali High. I was asked, why don't you please design the system for this? There was a banquet hall. So unofficially, I was doing it for the hotel. And from there, I moved out on my own in the early 2000 and started designing for bars and clubs, because a lot of bars outside of hotels started to happen. Earlier licenses were only available with hotels.
Right.
And that became the journey where my journey as a audio designer for clubs started happening. We did a lot of nightclubs those days. And hospitality, because I was involved with ITC, I'd done internally a lot of jobs for them, hotels came in also. So along the way, I did a lot of projects for hospitality, international chains like Hilton, Marriott, Carlson, Radisson, Indian Hotel Company, ITC also, of course. And then came into this fantastic entertainment cultural center, which is called Kingdom of Dreams. By far my best and largest project, which is again an end-to-end Harman solution, you know that. And a lot of learning in that project, a lot of international teams were involved, a lot of integration between mechanics, hydraulics, electronics, audio and video. And that destination got 3 consecutive years award for being the best entertainment destination.
3 years back to back?
Yeah, back to back in Asia. We were the best entertainment, cultural entertainment spot. So, and that's where it began. It kind of just progressed from there. And so it was music, then it became production of music, audio. So I think it was a natural, progression into the same space. And for me, it is still not really a job because I enjoy technology. I've always been keen to understand how things work, and that interest has always been alive.
So your passion for music is what you brought into your work?
Yeah, absolutely.
Which ended up as your kind of daily thing,
yeah,
so you
my
really
career.
enjoyed it.
Yeah, yeah.
So how was the transition from being a very successful DJ from those days, back in those days, and becoming a very successful audio consultant today? So how do you see that transition?
I think that transition also is natural because, like I said, music, passion was music, that got me into DJing. Understanding how it is recorded and produced got me into the audio field. And then, of course, I've been a self-taught guy. I've enrolled myself for courses to learn because there was really nobody to guide me those days. There was really no path as such. Nobody knew what DJs were in the 80s when I started in 1985. So I had to carve out my own path, and to become better, to improve my skill sets, I, myself enrolled, like I said, in SAE. Subsequently started attending trade shows which are happening in Singapore, UK, to learn what were the products that were being, brought out into the market. And so on. So I think my journey has been quite natural. I am pretty happy with the way it has progressed. It's been very clear for me. It's not really been a job because I've enjoyed doing this thoroughly. So I don't get up in the morning wanting to push myself out of bed. As a DJ, I never did that. I used to, come back home at 5 in the morning and be ready to go back at 12 to listen to new music that was being released. Same thing when I started designing. It was always like, let's get to the site, put it up and hear it, tune it, see how it sounds. Can I make it better? So I guess, career stemming out of your hobby really doesn't remain a job, and you automatically do well at it because you're not being compelled to do it, like a job, regular.
So the biggest motivating factor, I would say, like it's easy to say that it was your passion for music, your love for music.
Absolutely, that's got me where I am, and I'm in a good space. I'm very happy with how it has kind of gone.
So Sunny, you've traveled a lot of countries, as you mentioned. You've been to a lot of expos. You've also played in Ministry of Sound in the UK. So you mentioned, touched upon that. So how do you fare the Indian market? I mean, as in, how are we adapting, or how are the venues in India adapting to the latest technologies? Are they upgrading? How do you see it?
So, yes, there has been a lot of activity in terms of pubs and bars happening. So there's a lot of requirement for audio, distributed audio systems, distributed video systems, and they've gone outside of hotels. From the time where I come in 1985, clubs were only inside hotels because you would not get a license to operate outside of a hotel. The good thing now is in the early 2000s, the government allowed you to open pubs and bars outside of hotels, which gave an opportunity to OEMs like yourself and others to install this equipment. But I will still feel short of saying that we've not really seen super clubs, super nightclubs. Like my exposure to a super nightclub was in 92 or 91 when I visited UK for my course in SAE, and I was exposed to Ministry of Sound. Massive club, one of your old big massive marquee systems installed there, 3 different rooms playing 3 different styles of music. Hippodrome in London, 60 feet height, 3 levels, massive dance floor, live events happening, bands playing, DJs playing. Zouk in Singapore, again multiple rooms, one playing hip hop, one playing R&B, one playing regular pop. Those kind of clubs have yet to hit India, where you have massive crowds of 2,000-3,000 people, getting into a club and enjoying the kind of music. So while it is definitely transformed from where it was to limited to a few hotels, now out on the streets. Delhi is full of them, Bangalore is full of them, Hyderabad is full of them, Pune, Bombay, Chandigarh, Punjab, smaller towns are also getting there. But I think we have to reach the super club era, and I'm sure it will happen. I mean, it's probably got delayed because of this COVID situation.
Right.
But in times to
So I
come,
think with all these things getting into tier 2 markets as well, I think the whole penetration into those markets have increased. We see a lot of clubs, I say the smaller ones, but we really need to see a very big one coming up. We do have a couple of them coming up, like you can say they're like a hybrid, they're in between somewhere there. But the big ones, the real massive ones, like you mentioned about Zouk in Singapore and the one in
where it's very high energy, it's very high energy with audio, with lighting, with video. And the crowds, the number of crowds in the venue.
So you touched upon the COVID coming in. So what's an impact? What is that? How you kind of see? What's an impact of this pandemic on this whole industry of nightlife and hospitality? What's your viewpoint?
So you see, the big 3 main industries that have been impacted by it hugely is airlines, hospitality, hotels, tourism, and of course entertainment space.
Right.
Now, we also operate in a lot of hospitality venues, as you know. Those venues today are deeply impacted and affected because of the COVID situation. Budgets have reduced. People are actually looking at a complete rethink on what should they spend. Should they spend on something which is not necessary? Would the crowds come in or would they not come in? Same goes for a bar or a pub outside of a hotel. Given the situation, nobody wants to sit in close quarters anymore. So these are places which will automatically lose business if they are operating, if they were operating.
Right.
If somebody was thinking of opening one, he will backtrack because he knows that for some time at least, till a vaccine or a medicine is discovered for this situation, he is not going to invest. So I think it will be impacted, but I guess year and a half more, we should be getting back to normal. And the point right now is to be able to self-sustain and hold your horses where you are and just keep your head above water, manage that for another 18, 19 months. And after that, I'm sure we'll all get back to, socializing and meeting each other.
So you said that we are social animals. We really cannot get stuck at home. We have to get out.
Yeah, we have to get out. We are social animals. We like to meet people. We like to go have a drink. I don't like to sit and have a drink alone. The idea of having a drink is with people because you talk and you enjoy yourself. So far I haven't gotten into a habit of drinking alone.
Which is good.
Yeah, which is good, but it's more so because I don't enjoy it. Because I can't imagine myself sitting home with a drink and not having somebody to talk to.
So that means whether it's the consumer, the customer, or the owners, I mean, everybody will have to recalibrate the way, the outlook that they have towards going out, dining out, drinking together. But for a while, but then it's gonna be kind of coming back.
We are going to get back to normal. This can't be the normal for our entire lifetime. Can't continue to be.
So you still feel that this is not the new normal that we should adapt to, and we will definitely come back to the normalcy?
I think it's the new normal to adapt to for the next year and a half to 2. And post that, once a vaccine is found for this, we will get back to normalcy. Have to.
So I'm sure over the last 30 years and then getting into the last 20 years into the audio video space for the consultancy and getting some wonderful projects that I have had pleasure of working with you, like Kingdom of Dreams and Sheraton projects. So would you like to share with us a couple of your key installs which are there? So, and what your challenges have been? What do you like to share with us?
So like I said, for me, my winner horse so far has been Kingdom of Dreams. It has been the largest. It has been very unique, one of a kind.
Right.
It has been a venue which has been awarded the best entertainment destination in Asia for 3 consecutive years. Lot of learning, end-to-end solutions, be it staging, be it lighting, be it video. Of course, Harman there providing end-to-end from the microphone to the processor to the amplifier to the speakers. So that I would definitely, I mean, I'm very, I think that's the highest listing project on my.
So Kingdom of Dreams brought in the technology part into the live performances.
Yes.
Like we have always heard about Broadway, but then this was the main or the first thing that got India into that live performance.
It was the first live musical show that one sees, and that show, Zangura, is still on.
Still on.
You know, 10 years down the line, of course, now it's been shut because of COVID, but till COVID did not happen, the show was running at 70% capacity. So, so that was one interesting project. The other one, I think, was the Sheraton Convention Center, which was the 100th Marriott property to open in India. Mainly because, as you're aware, it's got 11 meeting rooms on the perimeter, 25,000 square foot of convention space, 36 feet of ceiling height. Very challenging venue, you know, for in terms of acoustics. And sound. Also very unique because first time in the hospitality industry we designed a system which was AV over IP completely, you know, for video, for audio, live performances where a hotel is not renting gear anymore. It's all there, and it's all the pro sound, be it the desk, be it the line array system that's been installed there, be it the monitoring system. They've had some fantastic performances of Sonu Nigam, Neha Kakkad, and the likes of those people have performed on the same system with a few maybe microphones which are rented out.
That's one of the biggest thing, that I mean, having a system pre-installed and you don't have to rent out anything, even the mixing console, I mean, the main rig.
Everything. And it has functioned beautifully, especially the SVSI, AV over IP solution, without any glitches, you know, and the meeting rooms can be calibrated to work together or work, you know, independently. You can have a conference going on and then converging at the convention center in the evening for a social function. So I think that is the uniqueness of that that particular install. And then, of course, you know, this Big Daddy Casinos in Goa, which is on a boat, 5 levels of casino play, 1 level of nightclub, and the dining area, where we've installed a very nice VTX system again. Again has operated AV over IP because of their you know, scoreboards, LEDs, etc. Function very well. Then a similar project in Goa is the living room. You know, that bar at Morjam on the beach. On the beach. Now, why I say that unique is because it's a control contractor series system installed in the outdoors, right next to the beach, where the sound, ambient sound, is very high, and we've used distributed subs of the PRX, I think, and that audio system sounds phenomenal for the kind of products that we've used from the Harman stable. There's not the top end product, but I have had so many calls coming in from people who visited that space, just talking of the audio experience, you know, that it's amazing sitting by the beach, listening to a full-bodied, punching audio system is not easy, you know.
That's very comforting to know, because we always think that it's only the big boxes or the high-end product that can actually go into that kind of space. But I would say the mid-size foreground products like we have Control Contractor 28s and 29s can really also sound good in that kind of space.
I mean, I think that is the winning streak of that install. That it's not the absolute top end, or even I would say middle end. These are little above your entry level speakers.
A little above the background music speakers.
You know, and they sound phenomenal there. So I think these are some installs which are you know, the one that we did in Bhutan at the Dusit, the nightclub, and the sound system of the hotel there. Of course, Bhutan is a very beautiful place. It was a good experience going there to install and tune the system up. So I think these are some installs which are, to my mind, remarkable.
Good. I think as I said, I mean, I had a pleasure of working on all these installs which you mentioned, except Dhungru. I think I was not born even then when you started playing. So very briefly, if you can just tell us, what's your view upon Harman, what we're doing today, and what are the services that you provide? Do you think they are up to the mark, they are okay, they are good? So what's your kind of feedback? What your experience has been with Harman, I would say?
No, see, my exposure to JBL, like I said, was with the Ghungru. I mean, that was the first pro sound system that I played on in my life. And I can tell you this, and a lot of others who came to Ghungru will tell you that that nightclub system was phenomenal. For that time, it was installed in 1978, and it had these JBL Studio monitor series, 3-way Studio monitor series. There were no bases.
Okay.
Also installed in the original Ghungroo installed. When I joined in, that is what I used to play on, 4 3-way monitors.
Wow.
And it sounded phenomenal. And then, of course, the crowd grew, so you wanted more punch. So we just added 4 single 15 scoop bases, horn-loaded bases into that system to enhance it. So that was my exposure to Harman, JBL. And then, of course, when I did my first install, like I said, someplace else at Park Hotel, that was a complete JBL system. So my experience with them in terms of the products has been phenomenal. I have found products in all the price ranges that one needs to fit into client budgets. Overall quality of audio has been very good. Overall team, I really cannot complain because I've seen how you guys have supported KOD. It's now 10 years old. In these 10 years, if I remember correctly, there are 54 amplifiers in Nautanki Mahal, which is the large Audi, the iTech Edge
HTs,
series, and we've only had 2 amps that have failed in 10 years, and which were promptly replaced by your team in less than 24 hours. We also had once a problem with the VI6 where the whole board was flown in, by you.
I remember, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think, you should be asking this question actually to the client. He will probably tell you more than what I can say. So overall, I think it's been phenomenal in terms of backup support. And for me, now when I design for hotels or critical installs, what makes me decide who I'm going to go with is to understand what bandwidth do they have to support the project. See, if it's not a critical install like a retail shop background system, it may go off, it can go off for 3 days and there's no problems. But when you talk of venues like KOD, when you talk of venues like the Sheraton Convention Center, where anything that stops brings a loss of revenue to the organization, that is just not acceptable. So if you don't have a OEM or you don't have a team, the OEM could be great, but maybe the support team is not good. And without naming anybody, there are issues where they want to do it, but they don't have the team, or the team wants to do it and the OEM does not support it. So for me, that's the most important criteria when I design. So I think from that point, I have not had any issues with, and I'm not talking about you per se, because you were here even before you, the country head or the person who was in charge of technicals has supported it. Your international, colleagues have supported it. Initially, when we opened,
correct.
Everybody was here from your international team to support it, and so I think that speaks volumes, for any OEM, and that's the way to go. You have to have that bandwidth to offer for critical
I think it's
projects.
rightly said that the happy customer is the best salesperson for you.
Absolutely.
That's very important.
Yeah.
And I think throughout the 10 years that I've seen within Harman is that the best thing or the DNA within Harman has been that give service to the customer. You really cannot have anybody struggling to find where to get this service done or where to get the support from. And that is the most important thing if you sell out something.
I guess that probably it is ingrained in your company's DNA. That is why it is run through so many years, and which is a good thing, which is, I think, a fabulous thing to be, be a part of your system.
So great, Sunny. On that positive note, I think it was a very interesting conversation.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for, as I said, coming here. But we will not be happy or just finish over this as a conversation. I would like to use this opportunity while you're in our office. And as I mentioned earlier, all these installs that we have are our experience centers.
Yeah.
And I would actually go a step further and say that all the people like you who actually envisage all these designs, all these installations are really the celebrities for us, I would say.
Thank you.
So we would like to use that opportunity to have you here, and we want to unveil a new product line which will be introduced in India. So why don't we just move to the demo area where you can help us unveil that product for us.
Thank you very much, Ashish. It's been a pleasure, to be interacting with you on this platform, because I think this is great, because in times like this where we can't get out of our office,
right,
or out of our house to go to the office, and we've all been in enclosed spaces for the last 5-6 months. I think this is a great way and platform to keep in touch with each other, also our community at large, so that we know what's happening. And like I said, for me, passion is learning about technology. Always has excited me. So thank you for giving me the opportunity, and I'll be very happy to see what you have to offer now.
Let's go to the demo room and unveil something new.
Sure. Let's
Thank
go.
you very much. Thank you once again.
Thank you. Hi, Sajad. How are you?
So, sir, we have some new products for you, and we wanted you to unveil it for us. We want to launch these products in India, so we'll need your help. Please unveil it.
What is this?
Unveil and you'll find it out.
Achha, okay.
So this is the new JBL MGS series, which is marquee Galaxy satellite speakers.
Right.
This is focused for small format clubs, lounges, and for high energy restaurants as well.
Okay.
So I have Sajak with me today, and from our application team. Sajak will take you around with the demonstration of these products, and please feel free to ask any questions and let us know the feedback.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Thank you, Sajak. Over to you.
Sunny sir, as Ashish mentioned, these speakers are meant for clubs or high energy performance venues. MGS series has 4 speakers in it, a two-way 15-inch and a two-way 12-inch speaker. All the speakers, they feature a D2415 high frequency compression driver, which is also used in our high-end VTX series with the new LF as well, with the super vented gap, which gives undistorted low frequency, and highs give you an extended frequency response and ultra linear response. These speakers can be used in both rental and installed segments, given that it has 19 M10 points on all 4 sides, so that it can be suspended horizontally or vertically. And the speakers feature a 80 by 80 degree by 80 degree dispersion horn, so that you have even on and off axis coverage all throughout your venue.
This is smaller of the larger
marquee series, yes.
And they are so you said they can be used for rental, so they can be suspended, right?
Yes, it can be suspended
or hanging points.
Yes, and it also features a 35 mm subwoofer pole mount, so it can be put on top of a subwoofer if required.
One of these, basically,
yes.
singles or double AV.
Yes.
Okay.
So all the speakers feature a 35 mm pole mount stand.
What kind of amplification do you use for driving them?
We prefer using CDI or DCI series amplification for these.
CDI series for this. Isn't that underpowered? For
No, sir.
Like
so each speaker, the 12-inch speaker is 500 watts RMS, and the 15-inch is 550 watts RMS with about 129 dB SPL for both of them. And CDI 1250 or DCI 1250 is an appropriate amplifier for these.
For the tops.
Yes.
And how are the bases? What are the
coming to the subwoofers, these are newly designed subwoofers with the new design cones, again with super vented gap, so that it does not get heated during extra hours of operation, and with the newer cones that have been developed especially for this particular range. So we have dual 18-inch, which is 1700 watt RMS, and a single
1700 watt
RMS, and a single 18, which is about 650 watts RMS.
And what are the peak SPLs for this?
So this is about 133, and this is slightly lesser, about 128, 129 again.
And how low does that go? What is the frequency response?
So the frequency response for double 18 is about 30 to 200 hertz. That's mentioned in the spec sheet. But as you know, that when we usually drive, we drive it from 35 to 80 hertz, 80 or 100 hertz.
Right.
So it's the same for the single 18 as well.
So they're nice looking.
The speakers can also be driven in passive or bi-amp.
Yeah, I saw that. I mean,
Yes, so there's a switch at the back.
So basically a compactor version of the old marquee series.
Yes, sir.
And so you think, of course, club market, this is an essential product for a club market.
Yes.
And then you're saying outdoor rentals. What kind of IP rating does it have?
It does not have an IP rating. So primarily meant for indoor use.
Okay. No, but when you say, okay, so you're saying rental for indoors,
yes,
not really an outdoor
yes,
application speaker.
Yes.
Okay.
So as you would have already seen, so most of our installed series, they do not feature a handle in it. So with these series, a handle with
cut in,
all,
basically.
yes. So handle on all the speakers and subwoofers, plus all the suspension points and a 35 mm pole mount make it a good speaker for both rental and installation applications.
It's got good amount of rigging points also.
Yes.
So you can angle it the way you want it. From the back also, it's got 3 points. Yeah, so that's good. So you can give it a good
Splay.
turn and splay. Yeah,
Yes.
right.
So as I told you, all the speakers, they feature a dual annual ring and dual diaphragm high frequency driver, compression driver. So you have an extended frequency response and ultra low distortion, distorted highs.
Okay. Nice, yeah. They sound good. I'm sure the club market, when it picks up after COVID, you have a good product to
Yes,
push it to.
really looking forward to
No,
it.
but even I think indoor banquet applications,
Absolutely.
you know,
Indoor,
compact with a
yes.
pole mount for
Yes.
conferencing and outdoor, it's good. Seems like a good product. Great, yeah, great, excellent. Congratulations,
Thank you so much.
and I hope you do well with this range. Yeah.
Thank you.
So Sunny, how did you find the demonstration?
Quite nice, yeah. It's the Marquee series. I'm quite familiar with it. I mean, I remember the old, really massive, big Marquee series which were installed in Ministry of Sound in the UK, and then I think Zouk also. And this is the smaller, scaled down version of it. But they sound nice, yeah. They're very crisp on the highs and good low end, typically of what you need for a high energy club install. I think it's good and nicer looking. You know, the old boxes were very tacky, if I may use that word. But these are nicer looking speakers. Yeah. I think it's a good product for any install that requires high energy music.
So glad that you liked them. Thank you very
Thank
much
you.
for unveiling the JBL MGS series for us.
My
We are
pleasure.
pretty excited about
My
getting that
pleasure.
product into the market, and we think that it's gonna help us expand into that vertical in the nightlife.
Yeah, I think it should do well.
Good. So thank you, Sunny. I think we have a small token of gratitude for you. Sajak,
you.
can you please help me with that box, please?
Thank you. Hi, Sajak. Nice demo, yeah. Good sounding speakers, huh? Thank you.
So, sir, a small gift from our side. I
You
hope
don't
you
have-
like speakers as well.
You don't have to do this.
No problem.
But thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Sunny, once again. Thank you for watching this episode. I hope you liked it. Do join us back to watch another episode with one more industry expert and to catch up on the new product and the concept. Subscribe to our channel. The details are mentioned below. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy. Goodbye. Thank you.